Beyond the Gate spoilers Wednesday, January 21st. Cot snaps at Ted. Naomi's dark secret and the return of Greg Vaughn. What is going on? Kate's family. Welcome back to the channel. Your #1 sanctuary for decoding the chaos, the glamour, and the absolute insanity at CBS's Beyond the Gates. If you are new here, grab your tea or something stronger because we have a lot to unpack. I'm your host, and today we are dissecting the spoilers for Wednesday, January 21st. And let me tell you, folks, the writers woke up and chose violence this week. We have been waiting for the pressure cooker to explode. And looking at the teaser breakdown I have in front of me, the lid is officially blowing off. We've got shattered family dynamics, a return that we have literally been begging for on Twitter for weeks, and a secret life that threatens to ruin the Duprees reputation forever. We have a massive script to get through today, because I refuse to just read you the spoilers. No. We are going to analyze the psychology. We are going to debate the strategy. And I have some theories that might just blow your mind. Let's dive into the drama. Part 1. The Ted, Eva, and Cot disaster I told you so. Okay, let's start with the elephant in the room. The absolute train wreck that is the Ted, Eva, and Cot dynamic. Let's rewind for a second. Last week, we saw Ted make what I consider to be one of the most boneheaded moves in the history of this show. He actually asked Eva his shiny new fiancé to try and support Cot. He thought, in his deluded, rose-colored glasses world, that if he Eva just extended an olive branch, Cot would magically forget all her suspicions and they'd be braiding each other's hair by the weekend. Spoiler alert. It didn't work. The spoiler for Wednesday says, Ted asked Eva to give it the old college try supporting Cot and it didn't go well. Today, Cot lets her dad know exactly where things stand. Let's break this down. Why did Ted think this would work? I have a theory. I think Ted is suffering from pathological peacemaker syndrome. He is so desperate to blend his past Cot with his future Eva that he is ignoring the blaring sirens of reality. But here is my controversial take. I don't think Cot is just being a brat. I know. Half the fandom thinks Cot needs to get over it and let her dad be happy. I've seen the comments. You guys are saying Cot is grown. She needs to move on. But hear me out. If you look at Eva's micro-expressions from last week, specifically that smirk when Ted wasn't looking, I am convinced that Eva sabotaged this support session on purpose. Think about it. If Eva plays the victim, if she goes to Cot and says something condescending like, "Oh honey, I know it's hard not being the favorite anymore," she knows Cot will explode. And when Cot explodes, who does Ted comfort? Eva. So, on Wednesday, when Cot tells her dad exactly where things stand, I don't think this is just a tantrum. I think this is a boundary-setting moment. I predict Cot is going to drop a truth bomb that Ted isn't ready for. She might say something like, "Dad, it's me or her." Or worse, "I'm pulling my shares out of the family trust." Can you imagine the financial ramifications if Cot separates herself from the Gates legally? That isn't just family drama. That is corporate suicide. And frankly, looking at Ted's inability to see Eva's manipulation, he might deserve it. What do you guys think? Is Cot the villain here? Or is she the only sane person realizing that Eva is a Trojan horse inside the Gates? 2. Naomi's house of cards is falling. Moving on to one of the most intriguing storylines bubbling under the surface, we need to talk about Naomi. The spoiler reads, Naomi is living a life that is miles away from what she expected. But can she keep it under wraps from her family? This is juicy. This is classic soap opera gold. Living a life miles away from what she expected. What does that actually mean? Let's put on our detective hats. Naomi has always been presented as the perfect one, the image of stability. But we've seen the cracks, haven't we? We've seen the nervous glances at her phone. We've seen her declining invitations. Theory time. I have 3 working theories on what Naomi is hiding, and I want you to tell me which one you think is plausible. Theory The financial ruin. Is it possible that Naomi is broke? We know the lifestyle these characters lead is exorbitant. Maybe she made a bad investment. Maybe she's being blackmailed. If she has lost her personal fortune, the shame would be unbearable in a family like the Duprees or the Hamiltons where net worth equals self-worth. TYRELL. The secret affair. This is the standard route. But Beyond the Gates usually tries to be smarter than this. However, what if the affair is with someone forbidden, like a rival business owner? Or this is a wild swing Simeon from the lower class that her parents would never approve of. A blue-collar lover, that would definitely be miles away from her expected life. Theory C, my favorite. The double life. What if Naomi isn't just hiding a mistake, but a whole separate identity? Maybe she's working a regular job somewhere because she hates the high society pressure. Imagine the scandal if the paparazzi caught Naomi waiting tables at a dine just to feel normal. The phrasing "can she keep it under wraps" suggests the walls are closing in now. Wednesday's episode is likely going to feature a close call. Maybe a credit card gets declined in front of her mom. Maybe someone spots her where she shouldn't be. The psychological toll of living a lie is immense. I expect to see a breakdown from Naomi soon. And when the truth comes out, the fallout won't just hurt her, it will shatter the illusion of perfection the family tries so hard to project. Part 3. The King returns. Greg Vaughn is back. Stop everything. Hit the pause button. Take a deep breath. Greg Vaughn is back. The spoiler confirms. And we are thrilled to see Greg Vaughn back on screen after a few weeks away. Listen, we have been in a drought. A Greg Vaughn drought. And for a show that relies on heavy hitters, his absence was felt. The screen presence this man has is undeniable. But let's look at the context of his return. He isn't just walking in to say hello. He is walking right into the middle of Vanessa and Kial's storyline. The teaser says, Vanessa has a proposition for Kial. What is she up to? Okay, let's connect the dots. Vanessa is a shark. We know this. She doesn't do anything out of the kindness of her heart. If she is approaching Kial, she smells blood in the water. Kial has been vulnerable lately, trying to find his footing. Vanessa sees him as a pawn. But here is where Greg Vaughn comes in. Whether he is playing a friend, a foe, or a neutral party, his character brings gravitas. My prediction: Vanessa is trying to recruit Kial for a hostile takeover or a secret alliance to undermine the current leadership at the firm. And I think Greg Vaughn's character is the key to this lock. Is it possible that Vanessa is offering Kial a position that would pit him against his own interests? Or is she offering him romantic consolation with a side of business manipulation? And regarding Greg's return, do we think he's coming back with secrets of his own? Usually, when a character vanishes for a few weeks in soapland, they didn't just go on vacation. They went to rehab, or prison, or a secret island to find a long-lost heir. I'm expecting Greg to drop a bombshell within 5 minutes of walking on screen. Welcome back, King. We missed you. Part 4. Jacob. The collateral damage. Now, let's talk about poor Jacob. Spoiler: Jacob is not going to love being caught in the crossfire between Elon and Marcel. If there is one thing I hate, it's watching the good guy get crushed between two massive egos. Elon and Marcel are titans. They are immovable objects. Their conflict is ancient, deep-rooted, and frankly, toxic. And here is Jacob, likely just trying to do his job or maintain peace, getting grinded into dust. Psychological analysis: Jacob represents the new guard. He wants progress. He wants efficiency. Elon and Marcel represent their old guard feuds. They care more about being right than being effective. I think Wednesday is going to be a turning point for Jacob. How much more can he take? Being the middleman is exhausting. We might see Jacob snap. And frankly, I hope he does. I want to see Jacob stand up to both of them. Imagine a scene where he locks them both in a boardroom and says, "Nobody leaves until you fix this." But knowing this show, it's more likely that Elon will try to use Jacob to hurt Marcel, and Marcel will try to use Jacob to spy on Elon. It's a lose-lose for Jacob. But here is a darker theory. What if this conflict ruins Jacob's relationship? Stress bleeds into personal life. If Elon and Marcel don't stop, Jacob might lose the person he loves because he's too busy putting out fires. Watch for signs of burnout in Jacob this Wednesday. Part 5. TYRELL shocks the dads. Finally, we have perhaps the most emotionally resonant storyline of the week. Spoiler. TYRELL surprises both of his dads with an unexpected stance. Both of his dads. I love how the show handles the co-parenting, multi-parenting dynamics. But TYRELL is often treated like the kid who needs protecting. This spoiler suggests a shift. An unexpected stance sounds like rebellion, but the mature kind. What is the stance? I don't think this is about skipping school or buying a motorcycle. I think this is ideological. Scenario 1. TYRELL refuses the legacy. Imagine TYRELL looking at his fathers and saying, I don't want to run the company. I want to be an artist, doctor, teacher. That would shatter their worldviews. They have been building an empire for him, and he might reject it. Scenario 2. He picks a side, and it's the wrong one. What if TYRELL agrees with an enemy of the family? What if he says, actually, Dad, I think Cot is right. Or I think Vanessa makes a good point. That would be the ultimate betrayal in their eyes. Scenario 3. The love interest. TYRELL might stand his ground regarding who he is dating. If his dads disapprove of a partner and TYRELL says, I don't care what you think, I love them, that is a major coming-of-age moment. I'm rooting for TYRELL here. It is time for him to stop being the object of the plot and start being the driver of the plot. If he stands up to his dads, it changes the power dynamic of the entire household. It forces the fathers to look at him as a man, not a boy. Conclusion. The stakes have never been higher. So, let's recap the chaos awaiting us this Wednesday, January 21st. Cot vs. Ted. The gloves are off. The nice daughter act is over. Eva better watch her back. NAOMI'S secret. The ticking time bomb is getting louder. I'm betting on a double life. Vanessa and Kial. A deal with the devil. Plus, the triumphant return of Greg Vaughn, which will surely shake up the chessboard. Jacob's purgatory. Caught between Elon and Marcel. Will he break? TYRELL's rebellion. A son standing up to his fathers. My final verdict. This episode feels like a setup for February sweeps. They are moving the chess pieces into aggressive positions. If you are a fan of character-driven drama, you cannot miss this. I'm particularly worried about Naomi. The phrasing of her spoiler feels tragic. And I'm particularly excited for Cot. It is time for Ted to wake up. And if Cot has to scream in his face to make that happen, so be it. Question of the day. I need to know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Eva is intentionally sabotaging her relationship with Cot to isolate Ted? Or is Cot just being impossible? I want to see a debate in the comment section. Team Eva or Team Cot? Let me know. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive and want me to keep breaking down the psychology of Beyond the Gates, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss my review immediately after the episode airs. I'm your host, signing off. Keep your gates open, but lock your doors, because the drama is coming inside. See you Wednesday.